Dear Lord, in this special time of year, when ironically, ironically, okay, that's another, when ironically, we are matched up with the time of year when you sent wise men to a baby and it helped change the world, focusing on children, focusing on the higher things in life and giving them a future and a hope. And that we pray, and I believe is the spirit with which we approach these decisions this morning and these collaborations. So, God, each of us, and we welcome into our hearing space all that are here to hear. We look forward to this time today. I ask in the name of my Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
We'll now take the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the
to
flag
the flag
of the United
of the United
of the
States of
United
America,
States of America and to the republic for
republic
which it
which it
stands,
stands, one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, everyone let me know if you can't hear me, but our next issue 4, position and mission statements. This is very timely for such a time as this. Our position statement. The South Carolina Public Charter School District embraces its state-appointed role as the distinct authorizer of public charter schools statewide. Our mission statement. The South Carolina Public Charter School District authorizes, supports, and champions innovative K through 12 public charter schools, ensuring quality educational opportunities for parents and academic excellence for students, so every South Carolina child can reach their highest potential. Thank you. Now I'll call on Jonathan Butcher for the roll call. Jonathan, thank you.
Sure. Before I do that, quick correction for the minutes. This is the December 11th, 2025 meeting, not the November 20th meeting. So Jonathan Butcher here, Dexter Davis. I don't have Dexter. So Stephen Gilchrist,
I'm here.
Kit Miller,
Here.
Cindy Mostetler,
Here.
Craig Plank,
Here.
Dr. Teresa Pope,
Here.
and Dr. Billy Strickland.
Here.
We have a
Thank
quorum.
you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We will now move into item 6, the consent agenda, approval of the agenda for the October 11th, 2025 meeting. That means what you just said, the December 11th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you. I actually don't see the approval for the agenda for today on this, but no, I see it right now. Excuse me. Our second issue, approval of the agenda for the December. So that's what we just did. I don't. Okay, we're finished with that. We'll move on to the next issue. There are no public comments. Is that correct, Marlene?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. We will now move to informational items. Having none, we will move on ahead with executive session. Is there a need for executive session?
No, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. Now we move on to the action items. The first action item is approval of McGuire Woods contract. Chris Neely. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, Madam Chair, members of the board, good morning. Good to be with all of you. This morning, you've got before you a renewal contract for McGuire Woods for their government relations services and advocacy efforts on behalf of the South Carolina Public Charter School Districts and the schools that we serve around the state. They have been with us for the past 6 years. This is a renewal, an extension of their services, and they will also be adding 2 more team members to the team to help in advocacy efforts this coming session. As you know, there's several key issues that will be on the legislative agenda. First up will be the funding formula, and our advocacy to defend the funding that our schools get, and to continue to defend the changes that were made to that formula 3 years ago to increase the amount of money that we get per student. Additionally, State Superintendent Ellen Weaver will be advocating for an infrastructure bank bill. We support this infrastructure bill. This will enable our charter schools to expand in local rural areas of South Carolina, and it will provide facility funding so that our schools can take less of their per pupil that should be going to the classroom and to the students, and be able to have this additional money they can spend on facilities. I think this will be huge for initiative along the corridor of opportunity. Additionally, we're expecting 2 different accountability bills to come up, one in the House and one in the Senate. And we want to make sure that the 2 versions of the accountability bill reflect the values and the priorities of the South Carolina Public Charter School District and the schools that we support. Additionally, we will be doing more advocacy on the transportation side. As you know, our efforts the last 2 years resulted in our schools now having access to diesel fuel for their buses. We made that announcement 2 weeks ago. And so we want to continue to advocate for our schools to have access to maintenance and buses. So a pretty robust agenda coming up this legislative session. And with that, we're going to need more hands on the deck on the government relations side. All that being said, I would request the Board of Trustees approve the McGuire-Woods contract.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll just put in one point, and looking at their firm, which is so impressive, from 1834, it was founded by President James Monroe's private secretary, which is kind of interesting. It's very historic. So thank you for that. Yes, we need a motion and a second to approve the McGuire-Woods contract as recommended by staff.
So moved.
Second, Madam
Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Park. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gilchrist. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Chris, how long did you say we have already been in relationship with them?
Yeah, they've represented the district for 6 years now.
Yeah.
I brought them on 6 years ago when I became superintendent, and you know, their track record is very impressive. I mean, they've been able to defend our schools and shield them from efforts to remove their autonomy. They were successful at getting the funding formula changed 3 years ago, which is now in our stead to defend this coming session. And they were part of the advocacy efforts on the transportation pilot program. So that's just a couple of the examples of where McGuire-Woods has been really a true difference maker on behalf of our schools. Our schools can't afford to have government relations folks, so you know, they represent all our schools, and they've had great success. And with this unprecedented session of the number of bills we're expecting, it's going to be great to have them on board to help us.
Thank you. Having a motion and a second, we now will proceed with any questions, considerations prior taking this vote. Any questions for Chris, Eric, any staff? Silence is golden on this. So, okay, hearing none, we will now take a vote. All in favor of approval of the McGuire-Woods contract as recommended by staff, please indicate by saying yes.
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 All right.
Yes. Any opposed? None. The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, McGuire-Woods. We will now move on to item B, the limited waiver of transfer application deadline. John R. Payne.
Madam Chair, trustees, good morning, and thank you so much for your work. Before moving into action items B, C, and D, I wanted to give a brief overview of Limestone Charter Association Schools transfer request to us.
Yes.
As you know, back in spring of 2000, going back in 2021, Limestone College became the third institute of higher education to authorize charter schools in South Carolina and went on to create Limestone Charter Association to serve as the role of the authorizer. This past spring in 2025, Limestone College announced that it was going to be closing due to low enrollment and funding, which obviously impacted Limestone Charter Association. And over the course of the summer and early fall, Limestone Charter Association sought another IHE to fulfill that role. Despite broad attempts, however, no other IHE was established. So back on October 23rd, the State Department formally asked us to reconsider your October 1st transfer deadline as set forth in your board policy manual. And on October 27th, the district responded to the department to underscore our willingness to assist. And between the request and December 11th, this December 11th board meeting, we have worked closely and collaboratively with both the State Department of Education as well as the Charter Institute at Erskine to ensure that Limestone schools in good standing will be able to continue. Per the State Department, Limestone schools have until December the 15th, 2025 to secure another authorizer or be subject to closure at the end of this school year. Such closure for the Limestone schools in good standing would be antithetical to the district's mission, vision, and values of putting kids first. So we collaborated with the department and with Erskine to create a simplified department-approved application for all open operating schools. We're calling those transfer schools. And on November 24th, we issued correspondence to these Limestone schools that have affirmatively reached out to us. And in that, we created Google folders for the schools to place essential documents, such as copies of each school's charter. Between November the 24th and December 6th, these schools submitted the application and all the accompanying documents to their school-specific folders. We examined that information. We examined their report card data, obviously, as well. We've examined their financial data and submitted or examined the documentation that they submitted to us as well. For schools with a charter approved by Limestone but not open, those year zero schools, the district, in close collaboration with the department and Erskine, notified them that district staff would recommend accepting the approved charters as letters of intent to reapply to the PCSD. A year zero school must submit its revised charter application to the State Department portal on or before January 30, 2026. Normally it's February the 1st, but because that date falls on a weekend, the State Department has set that date this upcoming year as January 30th. We'll review these applications during the cycle and make some decisions and make recommendations and have recommendations to you for our March board meeting. But then in that correspondence, we also understood that some year zero schools may have had unique circumstances based on an advanced pre-opening status that could warrant a more customized process and timeline. And so with respect to that, we found 2 schools that met advanced pre-opening status as year zero school and have included these schools because these 2 schools have progressed sufficiently to be considered in that advanced pre-opening status with things such as facility work already underway. As such, we are recommending that those 2 schools in year zero be included with the other transferring schools. Madam Chair, that is a brief overview of the Limestone Charter Association Schools request. And with permission, ma'am, I will begin asking for action items B, C, and D.
Yes, that is great. Thank you.
All right. So moving on to action item B, district staff respectfully ask that the board consider applications for transfer schools sponsored by Limestone Charter Association that submitted applications to the district by December 6, 2025, pursuant to the closure protocol established by the South Carolina Department of Education. This motion, Madam Chair, would effectively waive the October 1st deadline solely and specifically for the slate of schools being recommended today for transfer.
Okay. This is very specific. The limited waiver of transfer application deadline by J.R. Payne. We need a motion and a second to consider the limited waiver transfer application deadline.
So
Motion to
moved.
accept staff recommendation.
Thank you. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Wait. We need a second, Madam Chair. We need a second.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Thank you. Do we need all in favor? We ready for the vote? Any
Yeah,
discussion? Any discussion? And let me say in this concept of discussion, John R. Payne, we so appreciate you and all, we can't know the countless hours that the leadership and staff have done to prepare a place for them in our paradigm. So I can't thank you enough. It's easy to hear words, but you have done so much work, all of you. I congratulate you in the timeframes and in the depth of what you have done.
Yes.
So we now have a second. And all in favor of the motion as stated by John Payne, indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Yes, ma'am. Moving on to action item C. You will note in the staff recommendation report in Table A, the list of recommended transfer schools from Limestone Charter Association to the South Carolina Public Charter School District. Those schools include the following: Atlantic Collegiate Academy in Conway, Coastal High School Myrtle Beach, Discovery School at Myrtle Beach. Discovery School Myrtle Beach is in year 1, so it does not have a scorecard, as it has not they haven't operated long enough to get a report card or have to have a audit. Eastlink Academy, Global Academy of South Carolina, Gocher Charter Academy in Gaffney, Horse Creek Academy, Aiken, Legion Collegiate Academy in Rock Hill, Mountain View Preparatory in Spartanburg, Oceanside Collegiate Academy in Mount Pleasant, Orangeburg High School for Health Professions in Orangeburg, Somerville Preparatory Academy in Somerville. Then for the 2 advanced pre-opening schools that are in year 0, South Carolina High School for Accelerated Learning and Discovery School at Rock Hill. Madam Chair, the staff recommends that the board entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of staff to approve the applications of schools listed on Table 8, which I just read, of the staff recommendation report to transfer their charters to the Public Charter School District, subject to the execution of a new charter contract with the district on or before January 16th, 2026.
Thank you. And just know that the words that you just said have opened up tremendous opportunities. And all of you have worked on this. It's just it's a wonderful time of year to give this gift to schools. So we couldn't offer something better from ourselves than that. Look, now we will move on to the mechanics of this. A motion. We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Thank you. To accept the transfer of thank you. Transfer of applications as recommended by staff. Thank you. Any discussion? Ready
I know
for the
Dr.
vote?
Pope made the motion. Who made the second? Was that Stephen? Was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was Kip.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. We're prepared to vote. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
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 The opposed? No. The ayes have it. Congratulations. Thank you, John, and your staff, Chris. And this is going to be a long football game, and this would be great. This would be a great thing for South Carolina.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. We are very excited. And Madam Chair, if I may exercise just a small point of privilege, I just want to, and I hope they watch or they're listening, but I certainly want to commend the board members, the board chairs, the school leaders, and the organizations that these schools work with. They were in a situation not of their own making, a situation that it really is unprecedented in the history of South Carolina education. And they were equal to the task. Between when I issued the letter on November the 24th, which was just, of course, right before Thanksgiving, they nonetheless produced every document and every record that we requested by the December 6th deadline. And so we just want to commend them on their commitment to being efficient. We continue to commit our commitment to them of being a smooth, easy, articulated transfer process. And it is evident that these folks are equal to the task, and I think equal just as we are in putting all kids first. So we really appreciate their diligence as well, and we are excited to work with them.
I just think that character is going to meet character, and it's going to be a great thing for South Carolina. We just look forward to it. And as they come to know our board and our staff, what we are is what we really always are. It's a part of character and cause for us. It's a very deep privilege to enhance the education opportunities in South Carolina, especially with a paradigm that has such a wonderful place for the voice of parents. So that is great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we will move on to letters of intent. In a sense, you've covered that, but is that the case?
Yes, ma'am. So for the final motion relative to Limestone Charter Association,
Yes.
the district staff asked that the board entertain a motion to accept the charter awarded by Limestone Charter Association to any current year zero unopened school or any letter of intent submitted to Limestone Charter Association back on November the 1st, 2025 as a valid letter of intent submitted to the district for the purposes of the 2026 application cycle if one or more of those schools should submit an application for a new charter to the district on January 30, 2026, subject to approval of this process by the South Carolina Department of Education.
Okay, and I want to be sure that the wording, the verbiage of the motion is correct. In its most simplified form, would we be what would you recommend to be sure that we cover it all?
That you, for any school that should reapply with us, any Limestone year zero school that should apply with us this upcoming January, that we would accept their charters as a letter of intent, or for anyone who submitted a letter of intent to Limestone this past year. So we're accepting their charter or their letter of intent to Limestone as a letter of intent to us for the purposes of them reapplying to the district should they decide to.
Okay. So I think I might frame this motion as a motion to concur and implement and give sanction to the proposal that John R. Payne has just verbalized to us, because and that I would wish that his words would go down, if it needs to be in writing anywhere, that our board has heard your very succinct and important message, and that we would consider this as what we would be voting on. How does the board feel about that?
Madam Chair.
Eric, could I interject just a second?
Yes.
I think that procedurally the best thing that for the board, if you want to do it exactly as John said, it is just to entertain a motion to accept the staff recommendation.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Okay, so
motion to accept staff recommendation.
Yes, thank you. Second. Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor? Indicate by saying aye.
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 None opposed? Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pope. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we are excited to welcome 14 new schools to the Kids First family. And we're excited to work with those individuals as well as entertain applications that any of their year zero schools should submit to us this upcoming January.
It's incredible. And, the wonderful thing is that there are doors, we are doors that open to and look forward to carrying this privilege now that as the facts have been what they are. And we wish the people at Limestone the best, and we look forward to being what we are, the South Carolina Public Charter School District for any child seeking such an opportunity and parents seeking opportunities as this. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we move to letters of intent from Limestone Charter Association. Am I correct on that? Am I correct on that?
I believe, Madam, we have now entertained all three motions.
All three motions at one time. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. So now we will move to item E, renewal of notice of revocation to Palmetto Excel. Is that correct?
It is a voluntary relinquishment at this time. And so with this, Madam Chair, please, board members, turn your attention now to action item E. This item was added to the agenda after Palmetto Excel's board voted to transfer to Voorhees. The district did not have the opportunity to discuss this with their board prior to the vote. However, the agenda was posted. After the agenda was posted, legal counsel was able to discuss the best course of action for a clean break between the district and the schools. By agreement, it was determined that voluntary relinquishment would be mutually beneficial to both the schools and the district. Therefore, staff recommends that you approve a motion to accept the voluntary relinquishment of the charters from Palmetto Excel, North Charleston, Sumter, and Spartanburg, subject to receiving a written resolution from the school's board voluntarily relinquishing those charters prior to the district's board meeting scheduled on January 8, 2026.
Hear that, and I understand that. So you are looking for a motion and a second to approve the renewal reissue of the notice of revocation to Palmetto Excel as you have just recommended here, as recommended by staff. We got that right?
Not a renewal, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, is the word,
it's a
no,
voluntary-
reissue.
A voluntary relinquishment.
No, okay, that is what is not here. That's what was throwing me off, relinquishment, okay. Yeah, because this would be a renewal or reissue, yeah, because I knew that was the situation with the school. Yes, so we need a motion, I'm just going to read it back to you. We need a motion and second to approve the relinquishment of the notice of revocation to Palmetto Excel as recommended by staff, or does the revocation is not part of this?
No, ma'am, it is a voluntary relinquishment.
Yeah,
And-
it is a voluntary relinquishment.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am, and the
Madam
motion
Chair.
is that we accept the voluntary relinquishment from the three campuses, subject to receiving that written resolution by their school board
yes,
on or before our next board meeting in January.
okay, okay.
Madam Chair,
we
again,
need
this is Eric. I think procedurally the best thing to do here is to, if you want to proceed as John recommended, is just to entertain a motion to accept the staff recommendation.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
That's a wonderful
Alright.
line. I like that line a lot. Yes, yes.
Madam Chair, I recommend that we accept the as stated by John R. Payne for the voluntary relinquishment of Palmetto Excel charter in their three campuses.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
No, I have a question.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a question as well. So
Yes.
before we vote, can we take questions and
Sure. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Go ahead, Kip.
Yeah, John Payne, you mentioned that they are transferring to Voorhees, is that correct?
We are unsure if they are transferring there. They did have, Palmetto Excel North Charleston did have a board meeting where they voted to transfer. We don't have any information from Voorhees whether or not, where Voorhees may be at in any consideration of that transfer. But they voted, the school voted to transfer.
And is that permitted based off their lack of progress along with their academic progress? Is that permitted in the current scheme of things?
I think with the voluntary relinquishment, that is a much better approach because they are voluntarily giving up the charters for their three schools. And so I think by voluntarily relinquishing it, that kind of gets us to the point of what we would need them to do. They're relinquishing their charter, so they would no longer have a charter with the South Carolina Public Charter School District.
So then can they
John-
transfer if they don't have a charter? Can they transfer a charter they don't have?
John, could I interject just for a second on this?
Yes, sir, please. Thank you.
Kip, this sort of changes. They're not ultimately going to transfer. The reason that we sort of shifted this to a voluntary relinquishment is because they are changing their model to a proficiency-based model from what they currently have with the district. That requires approval of the new sponsor. And so there's no reason for them to transfer their existing charter to a new sponsor, only to then change the model. So by voluntarily relinquishing the current charter, they are able to apply for a new charter with Voorhees under a new model. The new model will partly address some of the prior issues that they've had with not meeting some of those goals. So this gives the school sort of a clean break and an opportunity to implement a new model to address some of those issues with performance that we've been dealing with, and a new authorizer an opportunity to see if they can have some success implementing that new model to address those issues. So this is, an effort for them to have a clean start and a clean break with the new authorizer under a new model. And that's why we think it's better that they proceed under a new charter rather than transferring an old charter.
Thank you, Eric.
That's a good question. Okay.
Thank you. I had a question.
Yes.
John R. Payne,
Jonathan?
can you tell me how many students are in each of the schools?
So the Sumter and Spartanburg campuses never were, there are no campuses or students enrolled. And then with respect to the enrollment, if you'll permit me one moment, I can get that number for you, sir.
And if you don't have it in front of you, you can just email it to me later. I was just curious about how many
It
students would be effective.
They were
If
funded
it-
at 150, but I can give you the specific number. Right now, as of Monday, they are serving 154 students.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Palmetto Excel, let me just ask, what the time that the age group of those students is what? I'm just a little bit tangent question, but what are their age groups?
Over the age of 21.
Right. And so this is a slam and shut case on this issue. But so I didn't think that they would. This is the only option they had, is what I'm saying, because they're not being considered in the paradigm of charter schools because of the age issue.
Madam Chair,
Because-
this is Eric. This is the adult charter high school. They were,
Yeah.
As you may recall from last year, they were initiated as a pilot program for
Yes.
3 years. And we agreed with the school at the end of the 3 years that they were going to go and find a different
Paradigm.
place to implement their
Right.
new model and a different funding source. We agreed that they would continue to operate this year under the district while they did that. This is all part of that process of allowing them to operate this year while finding a new place to operate and implement that proficiency-based model.
That's good. That's good closure. Okay. Thank you. And so now we need to act on the renewal renaissance of reissuance of notice of revocation to Palmetto.
No, ma'am. You just need to move to accept the staff recommendation,
Okay.
which will be accepting the voluntary relinquishment of the charter.
Motion's on the table.
Yep. We have a motion and a second.
Okay, good. Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
discussion? All in favor of the motion, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. That one as hard as I thought it would be. So now we'll move into Chris's report.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. I appreciate the actions you took today. I will say we don't ever meet virtually. This is not the top of our game. We are always much better in person. But this was an unusual circumstance, and I appreciate the fact that you all were able to tune in. I want to begin by welcoming the schools that have just been approved to join the South Carolina Public Charter School District. The past several months have been marked by real uncertainty and stress for your leaders, your teachers, and your families. None of this was of your making, yet you stayed focused on students, and that resilience speaks volumes. I also want to acknowledge the partnership and collaboration we've had with the South Carolina Department of Education and State Superintendent of Education, Ellen Weaver, throughout this entire process. Their leadership and steady guidance ensured that schools in good standing would not be forced to close. We are grateful for their commitment to doing what is right for kids. To the newly transferred schools, we are honored to have you with us. You have our full support, and we will walk alongside you through every step of this transition. Trust is earned over time, and we intend to earn yours through clear communication, strong partnership, and a shared commitment to putting all kids first. To your leaders and boards, thank you for your perseverance. To your families, thank you for believing in your schools. And to our board, thank you for your leadership and your determination to protect opportunity for students across South Carolina. And so as we approach the end of the year, I want to speak briefly to our entire public charter school district family. This has been a year of meaningful growth, strong performance, and expanded opportunities for students around the state. That progress reflects your dedication, your belief in what public education can be when we put kids first. As we look into 2026 and the 20th anniversary of the South Carolina Public Charter School District, I'm incredibly proud of what we have achieved together and optimistic about what lies ahead. I want to wish every teacher, leader, staff member, board member, and family in our district a peaceful and healthy holiday season. Thank you for the heart and commitment you bring to this mission every day. Madam Chair, that's the end of my brief. Per any questions, I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being wherever you are today, which allows you to be here. And I think that knowing the people that you are, that we see this opportunity as something that is a gift to us to pass on as a gift to the children and parents of South Carolina who have an intentional delight in being a part of their child's education. And I'd like to just reiterate that the parent piece is such a beautiful and strong and necessary part of the charter school paradigm. And we have the highest regards for parents, for any of you who might be listening across the state today. And we look forward to the enriching and education of your children so that, as it is said often, that they may have a future and a hope. And so we wish you the best these holidays, and we wish for you peace and joy as you think of the new road now for educating your dear children and entrusting that part of us with them. And we wish them the very best, and all of you, as you go through the Christmas season. And just know that our thoughts and hearts and prayers are with you as we grow this family for other purposes of good and a future and a hope. So thank you very much for all of that. Okay, so
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, thank you. Second?
Second.
Second. Okay. Joy to all. Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thanks. God bless. Bye.
Bye-bye.